hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real as hell. My eyes can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real as hell. My eyes can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help.
Like Kanye West said, having money is not everything. Not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's wrong. You don't want money so much, why don't you get up and go to work? Yes, I do. You're off on the deal and I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. That's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. Now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, today's Cortez.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, my good people, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the working class, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working class men and women all over this great nation of ours. It is truly an honor, privilege, and a blessing to present to you guys each and every morning. I so appreciate it. And I just found out, guys, if I say something you like, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me a sad face, give me a frown face. From what I understand, that helps the show go viral. So if you're on Facebook, then do me that favor. Also, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share the stream on your timeline. Let's get everybody involved in the conversation, because if you don't have a financial success blueprint, that could be the reason that you're struggling financially. Also, if you're on YouTube this morning, do me the same favor. Grab the link, share it in your favorite social media platform, or wherever you like to share links and things, and get people over to the show, and let's invite them and get them to understand the importance of having a financial success blueprint, so that we can literally change the state of being in our communities. So just in case you happen to stumble across this show on accident, I gotta let you know exactly who this show is for. This show is for my risers and grinders. If you woke up this morning, put your feet on the floor, and from first step, you start moving towards your goals for today, then this show, my friend, is for you. If you went to bed last night with legacy on your brain and thinking about the things that you're gonna do in the future to make sure that your great-grandchildren are proud to bear your name, this show is for you. If you're the type of person that knows that there is a better way to gain financial freedom than working a job, then this show is for you. There's nothing wrong with a job, but there is a more effective and efficient way to earn an income, because that's what you need, right? You don't need a job, you need an income. And if that's your mentality, this show, my friend, is for you. Perhaps you have the desire to build wealth. You have the discipline to build wealth, but maybe you need a game plan. Maybe you need strategies. Maybe you need tips. Maybe you need a mentor, someone to help guide you. Maybe you need to be submersed in a community of people that's doing what you want to do. This show, my friend, is definitely for you. On the other hand, who is the show not for, right? If you are that type of person who thinks money is evil, capitalism is a dirty word, this show, my friend, is not for you. If you can't stand the fact that I just said the word money 10 times in the last 2 seconds, this show, my friend, is not for you. If you have that weird relationship with money that some people do, I promise you, you will always repel money away from you. And when you watch this show, you will tend to attract money to you. And if you think money is evil, why would you want to attract something that is evil to you? So hopefully you guys are catching that. That's the psychology. If you think money is evil, subconsciously you're never going to be able to attract something to you that you think is evil. If you think wealthy people are snobs, then subconsciously you will always self-sabotage and never be able to acquire wealth, because why would you want to become a snob? So if you are one of those people, this show, my friend, is not for you. Now, let's be clear. I have no problem with you not wanting to be wealthy. My problem is with you not wanting me to be wealthy. If you have a problem with me wanting to be wealthy, then that's the problem that I have. Because some people are gotten to a certain place in their life and they're extremely content, and that's okay. Me, on the other hand, No, because I understand the worst thing that you can do for anybody is set expectations too low. So like I tell you each and every morning, if you have never seen a future billionaire, then I want you to take a screenshot because you're looking at one right now. And then I want you to hold me accountable to that and watch me work over the next 5 to 10 years and see what happens. And the reason I say this every morning, because trust me, when it happens, I want people to go back and see this, that in 2016, that man told us every morning that he was on his way to being a billionaire. Talk about belief in the cycle of success. It starts with belief first. Then you take actions based on your belief. Then you get results. You analyze those results and they feed your belief. So if you are not about this wealth building life, this show, my friend, is not for you. All right. Cool. Today's show is brought to you by Nove Money. That is our new credit restoration sponsor. If you do not understand the power of credit and you're walking around with a credit score below 600, then you need to get with me so I can introduce you to the folks over at Nove Money so they can get your credit score up, guys. Credit is extremely important in today's economy. I know you've heard it over and over that cash is king, but if cash is king, how do you make those large purchases, right? How do you get to a place where you're using other people's money to build wealth, right? You need credit for that because a lot of times we can't establish businesses because we need capital to establish those businesses. And if you don't have good credit, you can't get the capital to establish and run your own business, right? So credit is king. So if you need credit restoration, I want you to send me an inbox and I'll send you the link over to our credit restoration platform, Nove Money. We have literally had people who subscribe to the Nove Money and increase their credit score by 100 points in 30 to 45 days, guys. That is powerful. And here's what's powerful about credit. I want you to understand that for me and the company that I represent, it's all about your personal financial success. Doesn't matter how you get there. Now, you can definitely partner with me. My financial success membership is free for another week or so, and I can help you understand some things. But even if you didn't partner with me and you just got your credit score up to over 700, you can take that credit, use your personal credit to leverage business credit. And then you can use that business credit to, say, buy a 15-unit apartment complex. Right? You're using other people's money to buy the apartment, to buy the asset. Then you use other people's money to pay off the asset. So you have people like your renters and your tenants will actually pay off the assets. Now you came out of pocket with nothing, but now you own an income producing asset. That's the power of credit, man. But if you don't understand that and you're walking around with a credit score less than 600, then it's going to be tough for you to build wealth. See, when you partner with us, it's about more than just you having this credit or this little platform. We teach you how to build wealth, period. That's the end of the statement. See, some people will teach you how to build wealth a certain way or doing a certain thing. We teach you how to build wealth, period, right? Because there's a lot of different ways to build wealth, and we know pretty much all of them. So whatever your lane is, we're going to teach you how to build wealth in that lane. But it starts with you first understanding your need to have a financial success blueprint. So that's what we're talking about today. If you don't have a financial success blueprint, I'm going to lay one out for you. This is the one that everybody subscribes to when they join my financial success membership. We take them through this process and get them on this financial success blueprint. Because believe it or not, guys, sometimes that's all you need. That's all you need is a plan written on paper. You already got the desire. You already got the discipline. You just don't have the blueprint. Now you get something to follow. Now you get a mentor in your life. You submerge yourself in a community of people who are going to hold you accountable, lift you up, motivate, encourage, and push you, pull you if necessary. Then you'll be able to take yourself to another level, right? So here's our personal financial success blueprint. Number one, it starts with maximizing your cash flow. Guys, all of us are bringing in income from somewhere. You have to maximize the use of the income that you're bringing in. So what that simply means is you want to make sure you're not paying too much money in taxes. You want to minimize your taxes. What that means is you want to eliminate all debts, right? You want to start working on your debts. What that means is you want to free up your money so that you can start investing. So you want to maximize your cash flow. But if your cash is constantly flowing away from you, you're not going to be able to build wealth, right? See, we have never historically as a people had a problem getting money. We are some of the most money-gettingest people on this planet. Our problem is our cash flow problem. Too much of our cash is constantly flowing away from us. So we want you to maximize your cash flow. That means every dollar that comes into your home, if it has to leave your home, you want it to have a targeted destination. Stop spending money frivolously. Stop losing money on childish things. It's time for us to mature up when it comes to our money. So number one, maximize your cash flow. See if you're overpaying in taxes. We can help you with that if you subscribe to our Financial Success membership. See how you can use any extra cash that was going to Uncle Sam, bring that money back in your household and start eliminating your debts, right? Minimize your expenses. Look at your bank statements for the last 90 days and see exactly where your money is going. We all believe our money is going somewhere, but you look at that statement, you will see where it's actually going, right? That's important. So you do that. That is number one. This is an 8-step blueprint. So step number one, maximize your cash flow, guys. Stop letting your money get away from you. I like to say it like this. We tend to treat our money like the harvest instead of treating it like the seed. Again, we tend to treat our money like the harvest instead of treating it like the seed. See, during the harvest season and the harvest festival, they had so much of an abundance of everything because they were harvesting everything at one time. They would have big festivals and celebrations and tons of food, literally tons. Thousands of pounds of food would go to waste during that harvest festival because they had it in abundance. That's the way we treat our money, right? Payday, we tend to buy things we wouldn't normally buy during the week. So stop treating your money like the harvest and start looking at it like the seed, like you know that you're going to plant this money, put it in a place that's going to bring more money back to you. In other words, we subscribe to a formula called cash, asset, cash. Every time you get your hands on some cash, you should be buying, building, or investing in some sort of asset that's going to bring you more cash. That's how you maximize cash flow. That's number one in your financial success blueprint. Number two, you need to get a beginner's emergency fund in place. What is a beginner's emergency fund? That's at least $2,000, maybe $3,000 put to the side in case the transmission go out in the car, in case the washer go out, in case you need to replace the furnace. Because when you start building wealth, you don't want anything to interrupt you on that path, because what happens is you start what we call building momentum, right? And it's kind of like yesterday I had my mechanic over. My son's got a little hoop he sits in the driveway, and I'm trying to get it up and running because I want to bless somebody with it. I want to give it away. So I want to get it, up and running first. So we actually had to, it was in the driveway all the way up against the fence. So we needed to jump it because it hadn't started. We hadn't started up in about 4 or 5 months. So we needed to push it back. So do you know that when you're pushing a heavy object, the toughest part is getting it moving in the first place, right? Getting it moving. But once you establish the momentum, then it's easier to keep an object in motion than it is to get an object started in motion. The same is true when it comes to building wealth, right? When it comes to building wealth, it's sometimes harder, it's always, not sometimes, always harder to get the object moving in the right direction of building wealth than it is to maintain its momentum. So the reason you want this mini emergency fund is because when you start this momentum of building wealth, you don't want something to happen, transmission go on the car, and you have to stop the momentum, take that money and buy or take your paychecks and get the car fixed. Now you've interrupted your momentum. Now you have to start that momentum all the way over. So while things are good, take some of your money and start creating that mini emergency fund, $2,000 to $3,000 put to the side where you can get your hands on it if you need it. And that's going to help you maintain your momentum. So now, instead of the washer going out and that becoming an emergency for you, it simply becomes an inconvenience, right? Because what's the difference between an emergency and an inconvenience? It's having the money to pay for it, right? I was at an event this weekend. We were in Atlanta. I went to get some new training, get some new fresh starts. I went to refuel this battery so I can give you guys more and more. And I talked to my man, Cedric Williams, out of Memphis. Now, he drives a nice Corvette. I mean, that is nice. But he said as he was on his way, he ended up blowing a tire and couldn't find a tire shop where he was in a little remote area. Literally had to have his car towed to the next biggest city. And for a lot of people, that would have become an emergency. But because he had the money to pay for it, based on having a solid financial success blueprint, it was just an inconvenience. Cost him about $400 or $500 to get it towed. Spent another $200 or $300 on tires because I think he got 22-inch rims or something on that thing. And it just became an inconvenience. It wasn't an emergency. For some people, that would have been an emergency. So the difference between an emergency and an inconvenience is just simply having the money to pay for it, right? So you want a mini emergency fund so it doesn't stop your momentum as you start moving forward with building wealth. So I'm going to keep recapping as we go because I know we got new people jumping on. We're talking about a financial success blueprint. Number one is maximize your cash flow. Number two, establish a mini or a beginner's emergency fund. That's $2,000 to $3,000 put to the side. And we like to talk about putting that in something like a municipal bond fund, because you will get a greater rate of return other than different than if you just put it under the mattress or put it in a regular savings account. And why is that significant? Because you just might go a year, 2 years, 3 years without ever having an emergency. Right? So if you never have an emergency, that money is growing for you at a better rate of return than putting it in just a regular savings account or a money market account. Usually a municipal bond fund will pay you a little bit more in interest. Number three, you want to start the habit of investing. We talked before about cash, asset, cash. At this point, it's only about the habit. It's only about the habit. It's not about how much you invest at this point. Just establish the habit. Every time you get your hands on some money, take $20, $30, $40, $50, whatever it is, peel it right off the top and you go invest it somewhere. Establish the habit of investing. And guess what? Also establish the habit of not only investing your money into some sort of retirement account, but start the habit of investing in yourself. Every time you get your hand on some money, go buy a book, go buy a ticket to a seminar or course or something. Start investing in yourself to grow this, because wealth begins in the mind first. Then it shows up in the pocketbook, wallet, or bank account. Wealth begins in the mind first, then it shows up in the wallet, bank account, or pocketbook. Understand? So start the habit of investing. I don't care if it's $20 every week, every 2 weeks, however often you get paid. Do something with that money where it's going to grow and bring back more money to you. The habit of investing in your retirement future, but also investing in yourself. Books, tapes, CDs, or MP3s, right? Nobody's selling CDs anymore, but MP3s and that sort of thing that will help feed your brain so you start thinking like wealthy people. Does that make sense? You start thinking like wealthy people. You have to start with your mind. Number four, you have to start the process of aggressively attacking your debt, right? Especially your consumer debt, i.e. credit card debt, furniture loans, electronic loans, even the leasing of the cell phones, guys, because they've gotten really slick with these cell phones where you put $100 down and then you lease that thing. So you're basically paying $20 extra a month on your cell phone bill for 2 years for that phone. So like getting rid of that stuff, guys, that's part of maximizing your cash flow. I've got 5 lines on one of my cell phone plans for me, my wife, and my children. And they got phone leases. So I'm aggressively attacking those phone leases, because when those phone leases come down, then my actual monthly bill comes down. So little things like that, you start looking at where is your money really going and how can you get some of that money back collectively over the month, right? When I looked at my monthly bill, I found $100 a month that I was paying to subscriptions that I wasn't using. So you got to start minimizing your consumer debt, getting rid of it. And fellas, I like to talk to you specifically about this because we are commissioned by God to be the providers and protectors of our family. And if you don't see debt as an enemy of your family, then you're missing the boat. Debt is robbing you of your ability to build wealth, point blank, period. You have to aggressively attack your debt with a vengeance. Right? I see my man Chanel on the line. I see whatever. Guys, if someone kicked in your front door right now to harm you and your family, it's going down without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. If somebody kicked in your door right now, it's going down. Because you know that it's your job and your duty to protect your family. But on the other hand, we'll open the door and invite debt in. Bring in the big screen TV, put it up right there. Yeah, it's gonna cost me $25 a week for the next 100 weeks, but that's all right. Debt is robbing you of your wealth, right? Not that you don't have the ability to create wealth, but when you're drowning in debt, you're creating that wealth for someone else. So you gotta attack your debt with a vengeance. Fellas, when you wanna buy the new car, when you want to lease a new furniture set, that's why you got to put your big boy pants on, man. Say, look, honey, let's do this. It's going to cost us, if we were to finance this thing, it's going to cost us $100 a week, $100 a month. Let's save that same $100 a month for the next 12 months. And then we can decide even if we still want that furniture. Because chances are you're making those decisions based on emotion anyway. Chances are you're financing stuff you really don't need. You're financing stuff that you want. And see, and what we teach in my financial success membership program is we teach that instead of going to finance that thing, let's go and buy you an asset that's going to create some revenue for you, and then take the revenue that's created from that asset, and then we buy our toys with it. So if you ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad, he talked about that. He said, I wanted a new Porsche, but I'd be damned if I take my labor to pay for that Porsche. So what I did was I went and bought an asset. I went and bought a small apartment complex. First, the cash flow that comes from the apartment complex pays for the Porsche. Not my labor. Not my labor. So we got to understand that we like to labor for the things that we want. That's not how it goes. We labor to buy assets, then the cash flow from the assets buy the toys, right? So eliminate debt, got to get rid of it. All right, so that was number 4. So let me recap the first 4. Number 1, maximize your cash flow. Be very particular about the money that is leaving your hands. All right, be very particular about the way you manage the money that comes into your household. Number 2, you need a beginner's emergency fund, because as you begin rolling on this path to building wealth, you don't want to stop your momentum, have some sort of catastrophic event happen in your life where if you got $2,000 or $3,000, you solve the problem and you keep moving. Or if you don't have that emergency fund, transmission go out in the car, now you have to go to get a payday loan. You don't want that. You want to keep this momentum rolling as you're building your retirement or you're building your wealth building game plan. All right. Number 3, start the habit of investing. Right now, at number 3, we don't care how much it is. It can be $10 a week. Just be in a habit that every week, every time I get my hands on some money, I'm buying, building, or investing in some sort of income producing asset. That's my habit. Cash, asset, cash. When that becomes your habit, then you build wealth on autopilot. And imagine if this becomes the habit of your children. At 13, 14, 15 years old, they have a habit of cash, asset, cash. By the time they're 21 years old, they'll be a millionaire, man. right? They don't have to go to school for loans and get loans for school and all that kind of stuff, right? Habits, right? So now that you have the habit of investing, step 4 is eliminate your consumer debt first, and then any other debt second, especially credit cards, revolving debt, right? We have a little program that we like to show you called the bloody mess. And when you start understanding how debt really works on those credit cards, man, you can have a $5,000 bill on a credit card, pay $100 a month. $87.50 of that $100 will be going towards interest. $12 going towards principal. Take you 33 years to pay that thing off at that rate. You be done paid $35,000 back to them for a $5,000 debt. So you have to understand how these things are working against you. There's nothing wrong with interest. We're just on the wrong side of it. There's nothing wrong with interest. We're just on the wrong side of it. Because guess what? If I was on the other side and I was a bank and I can loan somebody $5,000 and they pay me back $35,000 every time, I'd do that too. We just got to get on the right side of interest. So 4 is eliminate your consumer debt, furniture debt, payday loans, credit cards, electronic debt, you know, and anything that you're financing. Cars and mortgage is more installment debt. We're talking about that revolving debt where the interest will compound over time, right? So your installment debts, the interest don't compound, it's pretty set. But the installment debt, the interest compounds daily. So you have to understand that, all right? Number 5, you're going to increase at this point your investment. See, number 3 was starting the habit of investing. But guess what? When you eliminate all your debt, you free up more money. So now you want to be more particular about the amount you're investing. So we have the habit, now we increase the amount. So you went from the habit was 20, 30, just get used to doing it. I'm taking this 20 off the top every time, and I'm just investing every time. I got the habit. Now we're on step number 5. We want to be deliberate. We want to be deliberate. So we're taking, maybe it's $200. Because remember, we've eliminated our debt now. We got the money back that was going to the banks. We got the money that was going to the renter centers and the national renter owns and the furniture leasing places. So now we freed up $300, $400, $500 a month. So now be deliberate with the amount that you want to invest. So maybe you take $200 a month now, or $200 a pay period now, and you start investing. Maybe you're going extra into your 401k plan. Maybe you have a separate IRA. Maybe you're saving it in a municipal bond fund because you want to ultimately start investing in real estate, whatever. But make sure you're peeling a oh crap, my connection is getting weak on YouTube. Hopefully it doesn't crash. It crashed on me yesterday. But the habit of investing was number 3, but the actual, you increase your investing at number 6. So you're deliberate because now you freed up the money. You freed up the money, right? Now that you freed up the money, now you take that and you take it to another level, right? Number 6, we're on 6, right? 5 was increased investing. Number 6, now again, you freed up the money. Now you complete the, you build out your full emergency fund, right? We have the mini emergency fund, and hopefully by this point we haven't had any emergencies. Now we build that thing out to a full emergency fund. Industry standards state that a full emergency fund is 6 to 12 months of living expenses. That's not $3,000, right? If it costs you $3,000 per month to live, then you need $3,000 times 6, or 3,000 times 12, right? So you want a full emergency fund, because this says that I'm on a wealth building game plan, but if I lose my job, I don't interrupt my game plan because I've got the money to live. So my game plan keeps moving forward because I've got 6 months, 1 year worth of living expenses, and hopefully that can get me through till I get gainfully employed again, and I just pick up my momentum never stops. It just keeps rolling, right? My momentum never stops. It just keeps rolling, even though I had a temporary setback and a loss of a job. Maybe a loss of a family member, God forbid, but if you lose a family member, sometimes that affects your income. But if you have that full emergency fund in place, 6 to 12 months worth of complete living expenses, and you might even want to pad that thing. So if it takes me $3,000 a month to live my lifestyle comfortably right now, maybe I put an emergency fund 6 months of $4,000 per month, right? And keep in mind, you should be good because you've eliminated all your debts. Right? So if you eliminated all your debts, then your monthly expenses start to shrink. So that emergency fund, don't be intimidated by that. If you're following this particular blueprint, then you're minimizing your debts anyway. So maybe at this point, all you have is your house note and car note. You're making $4,000 a month, only have $2,000 a month in expenses. Then you got another $2,000 a month. You start stacking that every month until it builds up to 12,000, 15,000, 20,000, whatever that number is for you. Now you got a full emergency fund, right? Now, so that is step number 6, full emergency fund. At this point, if you follow this blueprint, then you should have relatively decent credit. You should have that emergency fund in place, that mini emergency fund in place. Your debt should be extremely minimal. You should have your investment accounts going. Everything should be solid. So you should be in position to do number 7, which is buy a home. Number 7, if you're not already buying and you're renting, then number 7, by this point, if you follow this blueprint, you're in prime position, credit score up. That means you're going to get a great rate. Debt to income ratio is nice because you eliminated all your debt. So you should be able to buy the amount of house that you want to buy when you take this step. Now, let me interject something here. I want you to just think about something. I'm going to interject something, and this might throw some of you guys for a loop because I know you've had your mind set on, the particular house that you want to have, your dream home or whatever. So you want to, when it's time to buy, you may even want to have that thing built. But let me say something, because we're all about building wealth, right? And for me, building wealth means building intergenerational wealth. That means laying a foundation, building the first 10 floors of this skyscraper, then passing it down to my children so they can build it on up through the sky, right? So let me just interject something here when it comes to leveraging credit to buy a house. Maybe you got your eyes set on a $250,000 house. Maybe you're going to buy land for $50,000 and it costs $150,000 to have your dream home built, whatever. What I want you to think about, if we're talking about building wealth and we're keeping it real about building wealth, would it make sense? Would it make sense to leverage credit to buy a single family dwelling because that's what you've been conditioned to believe is a smart move? Or would it make more sense to leverage that same $250,000 as a down payment on, say, a 10-unit apartment building? You gut out 2 units, combine them so you have a nice amount of space for yourself, and then you rent out the other 8. And then have those 8 renters pay the mortgage. Now you're living rent-free. Would that make a little bit more sense? You're about to leverage credit for a single family dwelling, but would it make more sense to leverage that same credit for a multifamily dwelling where your tenants will pay the mortgage for that thing? Now you're using the bank's money to buy the property. You're using the tenant's money to pay off the mortgage on the property. Now you have a 10-unit apartment complex that you're going to pass down to your children. Now, after you stay there a while and that mortgage is paid off, now you take that rental income, that passive cash flow, you stack that up, and then you pay cash for your dream home. Does that make a little bit more sense? See, we're about building wealth here. This is not damn what they say the American dream is, damn what they say is socially acceptable. Oh, you 35, 40 years old and you still live in an apartment, you don't have your own home? Yeah, I live in an apartment that I happen to own, that I'm having to get $10,000 a month in passive income on? Yeah, I live in that apartment. Yeah, that's me. Me and my family live in an apartment. We just happen to own the apartment. It's being managed by a management company. We're having to get $8,000 a month in passive income because of this apartment that we live in. And you're paying a mortgage on a single family dwelling that's costing you $1,500 per month. So is your home an asset or a liability, or is me living in an apartment an asset or a liability for me and my family on my wealth building journey? See, we're about building wealth over here, man. Damn what society says. See, nobody is talking to working class people like this. That's why I'm the financial health mentor to the working class. Because if I'd have done this before I bought this house that I'm sitting in right now, I'd already be a billionaire. I'd already be a billionaire. But nobody talked to me like this when I entered the workforce as a young man. So that's why I bring this information to you guys every morning, because we got to start thinking like wealthy people think. Wealthy people don't leverage their credit or their money to do something as silly as buying a single family dwelling. That's just silly, right? But we live in a society that constantly beats in your head that your home is your number one asset. Your home is an asset. Your home is an asset. And Robert Kiyosaki gives you the simple definition of an asset and a liability. A liability is something that takes money from you every month. An asset is something that pays you every month. So in this house is taking money from me every month. Yes, I'm building up equity over time, but it's costing me every month to build that equity. What I'm saying is you can use the same credit that it will take you to buy a single family dwelling, buy a multi-unit, have someone else rent out the other units, and pay for that asset that you will own forever and pass down to your children. Set your children up. Right? Because even when when that thing is free and clear, and your children come up, then your children always have a place to stay rent-free. I'm just saying. I'm sorry to digress on that. But if you're at step number 7, then you want to either buy a home or an asset. Or if you're already in a home at this point and you can't get that multifamily unit, then you take that income and you pay off your existing mortgage. You start to double down, triple down on your mortgage and get that thing to disappear in 5 to 7 years versus 30. Right now, at that point, you have an asset when it's paid off. Right. But right now, it's a liability if it's costing you, $2,500 a month, $1,000 for the mortgage, your utilities, your maintenance, your lawn service, and all that kind of stuff. Your general maintenance, it's costing you money, right? When you can have a multi-family unit for the same amount that you're going to leverage for a single family dwelling, and now you're building an asset. And then step number 8 is at step number 8, now your mortgage is paid off, all your debt free. All you have is your utilities. At this point, you want to maximize your investments. Maximize your investments. So we started with number 3, the habit of investing. Number 5, we increased investing. And now we're at number 8, which is the last step. You're going to maximize your investing. That means if you make $2,500 per month and it takes you $500 to pay your utilities and put food on the table, then you should be looking at spending at least or investing at least $1,500 of that $2,000 that's left. I'm not gonna say all of it because you're gonna want to go out to eat, you want to treat your family, maybe you want a vacation, you want a weekend getaway, whatever. That's cool. But you're gonna maximize. That means now I'm putting 4 figures into a retirement account versus just 200 or 300. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's what we're talking about, using your financial success blueprint. Some of you guys didn't have one until today. So I'm hopeful that this has blessed you in some sort of way. Get you a game plan operating in your life. And then you have to exercise the discipline to execute that game plan. Then you have to take your the discipline, and you have to make sure you're surrounding yourself with the people who are going to hold you accountable for that game plan, right? People who are going to uplift, motivate, and encourage you to stick to that game plan when you want to waver left or right. See, that's why the power of association is so key. I associate with nothing but winners, guys. Nothing but winners. Even people who are not winning right now, they got a winner in them, so I'm okay with associating with them. I don't associate with people who got that pessimistic, woe is me, pity party every other second mentality. That I don't got time, because those people are energy drains. They suck energy out of you. And I need all of my energy. I'm running full throttle towards this $1 billion platform. So I need all of my energy. I can't be around people who constantly are energy drains. So if you're around those kind of people, guys, you got to switch up your circle. You got to switch it. Don't be afraid to redraw your circle of friends. Sometimes you have to redraw that thing. And it's not a matter of me being rude to my old buddies. It's just a matter of me evolving. And if they're not evolving with me, then they get left behind. That's just life. That's just life, right? Because if they don't evolve with me and I keep hanging with them, eventually it's one of me and it's more of them. So if I keep hanging with them, then I devolve, right? So it's not the crabs in the bucket mentality like a lot of us seem to think. It's our unwillingness to go ahead and cut ties with certain people. So we want to keep moving. We want to keep moving forward, but at the same time, we want to pull people and make them move forward with us when they're not ready. And if they're not ready, then you just kind of got to go ahead and cut ties. And you never know, your cutting ties and moving from level to level might be the inspiration they need to get their ish together, right? So never be afraid to redraw your circle. My mentor said this way: if you can't change the people around you, change the people around you, right? I put a post up with my man Corey when we was kicking in that event, Cedric Williams and all those guys, man. My net worth increased the moment I stepped in the room with those guys. I want you to understand something. I hang around people. They say if you're the smartest person in the room, it's time to change rooms. I'm trying to associate with people. When I walked in the room this weekend, my net worth went through the roof instantly because of the association, the people that I was around. So if you're the average of the 5 people that you hang with the most, then if you want your net worth to increase, then you got to get around people who have bigger net worths, bigger visions, bigger aspirations, bigger goals, because then they're going to stretch you to do something bigger, better, bolder, right? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about today. But it starts with a game plan, a simple game plan. Guys, you can give me the hearts and the love if you want. That's what helps these things go viral. I think Facebook recognizes that as somebody who is saying something worthy to be heard, and then they'll push this post out to more and more people. So you're right. If you can't change the people around you, change the people around you. Period, man. That's it. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm gonna tell you why we struggle with that. The reason we tend to struggle with that is because a lot of the people that we want to bring along for the ride with us, a lot of those people have seen us through some tough times. Right? I got some buddies who see me through some tough times in my life. So I don't want to walk away from them. I feel I owe them a debt of gratitude. I feel I owe them because they helped me through some tough times in my life. But how long will I be willing to drag them along if they're not ready to evolve? So that's why we tend to struggle. You got that girlfriend, you got that homeboy who helped you through some stuff. And because they help you through some stuff, you don't want, you feel like you owe them. So you're constantly pulling and dragging them, trying to bring them up to your level, saying, come on, man, let's do this thing together. Let's get on this positive tip, man. Let's leave the streets alone. Let's stop the clubbing and all of that, because they help you through, and that going through that transition that they help you through is a big part of what got you to evolve in the first place. Now you're trying to help them evolve. Difference is you wanted to be helped, and they don't at this point. So because of that, you have to make some strategic moves, i.e. go ahead and not cut ties, but keep doing your thing, keep moving forward. And when they're ready, you can always reach down and give them a hand and pull them up, pull them through, and help them move forward with you. When they're ready. See, I'm not gone from anywhere from my homeboys. I keep in touch from a distance, and when they start taking themselves to that next level and they start getting ready, now it's going to be so much easier for them to get to that next level, because I've ascended and I got resources and connections now that will help them get to my level 10 times faster than it took me. So I'm cool. I'm just going to move forward, do my thing. But when they're ready and they do this right here, hey, Tez, man, I need the same level. I can't help them. So hopefully y'all understand that the power of association is real. I just never heard it out in such a way, but I appreciate the knowledge of not feeling bad to redraw my circle so I can increase and go where I am going. Yeah, and then when you have when they are ready to come with you, you are properly positioned and you're strong enough to go ahead and help them. But see, the reason we can't get so far, because at the strength that we are when we're hanging with them, we're trying to pull them, and we're not strong enough to pull them and us at the same time. So you let them go and go ahead and do your thing, and you grow. And now when they're ready, and you can pull them up one by one, bang, come on, let's do it. Let's do it, because now you're ready. Right? Now you're ready. So guys, that is my time. It's approaching 8 o'clock. Again, I appreciate you with all the hearts and the love. I mean, this is a blast for me each and every morning. That's why I will continue to do this. We're on episode 62, and you guys have repeatedly shown me that you like the value that I bring and that you appreciate it because you share the stream. So I love it. You can't help somebody stand lying on your back. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. So again, the show is brought to you by Nove Money. If you understand the power of credit and you realize that your credit is not where it needs to be. Now, as some of you guys know that we were promoting National Credit Educational Services, and we made a switch. And the reason we made the switch is because National Credit Educational Service provides an extremely good service, and they do a good job, but it costs $350 up front to get them to help you restore your credit. Nove Money charges $99 a month for the first 4 months. And if you need continued restoration and education, then it's $29 a month. But there's no contract, so you can drop out anytime. So we found that be a little bit better because people have $100 a month to start. They see their credit score bump up 50, 60, 70 points, maybe even 100 points in the first 30 days. They'll pay another $100, get it to bump up a little higher. And if they want to continue, they can continue to pay the monthly fee and continue to get their score all the way right. And when that score is all the way right, guys, then we can sit down and have a conversation about how to leverage your personal credit for business, and maybe you get a $250,000 line of credit for business, and maybe that's what you need to start your salon. Maybe that's what you need to start your restaurant. Maybe that's what you need to start your t-shirt business. Maybe that's what you need to get your studio off the ground. But it starts with personal credit first. So if you have not, or you're interested in that credit restoration program, let me know, and I'll get you the information that you need to get that going in your life. And we'll help you in any regard. So with that, that is my time. Hopefully you enjoyed and wrote this stuff down so you have your own financial success blueprint hanging on your wall. Look at it often and start executing against that blueprint. putting this stuff in your life. If you want to partner with me and you need a team of people that will help you, hold you accountable for that, and help you really get you involved, help you with maximizing your cash flow. That's one of the things that we're an expert at: minimizing taxes, eliminating debt, putting you in a home-based business so you can write off your lifestyle, which further minimizes your taxes. And you get to refer people to our membership and earn commissions of $25, $50, and $1,000 over and over and over again. If that's you, I want you to either comment more info in the comments and I will shoot you some information, or if you just want to go to myfamilyempire.com, again, myfamilyempire.com, you can put in your name and email address there, and you will get our full overview that talks to you about our program, how it works. And then if you're serious, we'll waive the upfront join fee, and then it's just $35 a month starting next month to maintain that membership. So I'm your main man, H. Cortez, financial health mentor to the working class. Until I talk to you tomorrow, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people.